Hey guys, my name is Stephen Hoffa, and on this clip, we're going to talk about chasing the real estate dream by dropping out of college and what that looks like. This is the Standing Still Podcast.
So, Eric, you're still in school. Now you moved to Houston. Or what were you going to school for?
I was going to school. Well, that was the thing. I didn't know what the fuck I was going to school for. You're just going. Like, I was going for the longest time, and then I had to go take one of those assessments because, like, I had knocked out all the GE shit.
Right.
And they're like, yo, you need to choose a major. And I was like, fuck, I don't know what major to choose. So I went to go take one of those assessments, and they were like, oh, yeah, you should do business finance. And I was like, all right, business finance it is.
Right. I got rodeo clown. That's so interesting.
Yeah.
No, I'm totally kidding. But, okay, so you just, like, were like, oh, well, I'm not going to do that then?
Yeah, well, I started taking, like, you know, the prereqs for business finance. Like, started taking economics, accounting.
When you guys grab me a beer when you get a chance?
Yeah, I got you.
So you started doing, still in San Diego?
Yeah. And none of those things had really just caught my attention. Like, I was like, fuck, man, this is fucking boring. And then I started thinking about everything that I've learned within the past couple years and, you know, painting the bigger picture for myself. And I was like, shit, dude, you know what? I've been told, like, go to school, get good grades, get that job, do all that shit. And I was like, let me ask myself this. Am I doing this for me or am I doing it for everybody else?
Right.
And it took, like, a big self-realization. I remember I was sitting in calculus, and I was like, fuck, sitting there. And
as one does.
Yeah, and I was like, you know what? I don't think I want to do this.
In calculus.
I was like, I don't think I want to do this right now.
Right.
Like, I was like, so I walked out.
You just walked out of the class?
I walked out of class. And as I was walking out, I looked at the building, and I was like, this is going to be my last day. And I just walked back to my apartment. You
were 3 years into this point?
My house, yeah. I was like 3 years into.
You had like what a year and a half yet?
Yeah, give or take.
Yeah, right.
And then so yeah, I had left and I just didn't go. And then I was just like used trusty Google and started, you know, looking up networking events for business owners and stuff. And I mingled my way into this event called By Speaking Empire, and they promote like digital products and, you know, different online presence and stuff, and from like small business all the way up to like huge motivational speakers.
Right.
And I found out they had like they had a meeting or like they had a fucking seminar that weekend out in Encina or Escondido or somewhere in San Diego.
Right.
So I go over there, dress the part, dress super nice, whatever, sneak in through the back of the pool area, and I sneak into this event, and I just grab a chair, and I just start listening. And, like, this event's, like, I think it was, like, $700 for the weekend or some shit.
Really?
Yeah.
And you just, like, showed up?
Yeah, I just showed up and, like, went in through the pool area. Yeah.
See, I can't do that.
You hustle
but
your way in,
you
though.
carry a net, and they're like, oh, he's just cleaning the pools.
Yeah, right? So I just...
Why is he just cleaning the pools, though?
So I go, and I'm sitting there, and I'm talking, and I'm, like, not knowing anything. And at this point in college, if you would have met me, I was kind of... I wasn't the most shy, but I was kind of, like, in a shell, in a sense. Like, I was a little afraid to talk to new people.
Interesting.
Like, that I felt were above my level. Because I'm
so you knew, because you obviously love the sales.
Yeah.
You love the sales, but maybe were you intimidated?
Yeah, very intimidated. That's a good way to put it. I was intimidated because here I am sitting in a room full of successful business owners.
Right. And I'm just a pool cleaner.
And I'm just a fucking, and I'm just a pool cleaner, right? Yeah. So I'm sitting there and I'm like, shit, well, I need to start talking. So I start talking to the random people at the tables and shit.
Well, okay, hang on. What do you mean? So is there a speaker? Like, what do you mean you just start talking to people?
Well, yeah. So there's a speaker giving a presentation, and then they're handing out like worksheets and shit to do along with them.
Right.
And then eventually, like, obviously these classes are days long, like super long days.
It's a seminar, right?
Yeah, it's a full seminar. So like obviously through then you get breaks.
Right.
And so during the breaks, I was just like talking to the people next to me, going out there networking and just meeting people. Some guy owned like Taekwondo studios. Some other lady wrote books, and
that's tight.
So I was just out there just meeting people.
Right.
Trying to get
just sponging everything you can.
Yeah. Just trying to talk to people and seeing what would catch my. And then eventually I met this guy. His name was Alan, and Alan was a is still a real estate investor in Houston, Texas. And me and Alan, we were talking with another buddy of mine who I went to the event with, Amir, and we were all talking and stuff, and then everything was cool. Like, we finished off the weekend, and then Alan and Amir were like, hey, we're going to Vegas for this other conference on Thursday. Do you want to come?
Mm-hmm.
And me, at this point, I'm like, fuck it, dude, balls to the wall. Like,
Yeah,
I'll do anything. Like,
why not? Yeah.
Yeah, why not? So I fly out to Vegas that week. On a Thursday, I fly out to Vegas, and I go to this conference,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm talking with Alan, and he's like, oh, this is my nephew, Ross. And Ross is a little bit older than me at the time. Ross is like 23, 24.
Ross Alexander.
Yeah, Ross Alexander. You guys have probably seen me all over the place with him. We've traveled and done a lot of shit.
Huh.
But
Sounds like a nice lover.
yeah, right. We've had our ups and downs, but it's been all love. But so I ended up talking with Ross, and Ross was like, "Yo, I'm gonna move out to Houston. He's from New York, so he has that thick New York accent.
New York.
Yeah,
New York.
New York.
Right.
He's like, bro.
The Brib.
He's like, yo,
York.
where you at, bro? I'm at the Brib, bro. I'm at the Brib. So over the time, so Ross and I, we went out in Vegas on the town. Me, Ross, and Amir, we went out on the town one night. We got super fucked up and super drunk.
Mm-hmm.
Terrible idea, because we had a conference the next morning, and his uncle was like super pissed,
Right.
because he's like, I invited you guys out here to fucking learn, not get fucked up.
Right. Right.
Yeah, and he's like the millionaire, so we're all supposed to like listen to him.
Right. Yeah.
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 So we ended up getting all fucked up, but during that, he's like, yo, man, Ross is like, yo, man, I'm going to move to Houston and like do real estate like my uncle, blah, blah, blah. He's like, yo, you should come too. You should come too. Because like we had just hit it off. And I was like, fuck, man, I'm in college right now. Like, but I wasn't going to class.
Right.
And then I was like, you know what? And then I just kind of took it as one of those signs, like, you know what, man, maybe it's good that I go to college. Just go check out.
Like, why not?
Yeah, what happens if, I was like, what if this is like exactly what I'm looking for?
Right.
And I was like, you know what? Sounds good. He goes, all right, man, I'm going to be there in 2 weeks. I was like, all right, bro, I'll meet you there. And then every week, like, hey, bro, you're still coming, right? Hey, bro, you're still coming, right?
Mm-hmm.
And, like, I had made up my mind. I remember, like, after that conversation, I called my mom and was like, hey, Mom. Like, I called her from Vegas. And I was like, I'm just letting you know I'm moving to Houston.
Wow.
And she was like, Eric, you're drunk. Like,
Yeah.
we'll
Yeah,
talk.
Mom, I'm drunk, but
Yeah.
I'm going to fucking Houston.
Yeah, we'll talk when
I
you get
remember that
home.
conversation. He called me after. He was like, hey, what are you doing? I'm like, I'm just chilling. He's like, hey, by the way, I'm moving to Houston. I'm like, oh, okay, cool. Are you going like for like a program or something? I'm like, I know you're in school and shit. He's like, no, I'm going to pursue real estate.